Hey everyone, how you doing? We just had a massive new gateway open up on February 13th today. It will be open till about February 21st. These energies were so strong, they literally blacked out the satellites and the technology that measures the Schumann resonance. So this is how strong these energies are. Now, I'll tell you about this today, what you need to know. So just today, we opened up a new portal. This gateway into the new is meant to really overwhelm and override any old programming that is still keeping you anchored in to the old 3D matrix of fear and of your old life. What's happening right now is we have massive, high, fifth dimensional energies coming in, anchoring you further and further into the new heart vortex of 5D. So these energies are meant to overwhelm your nervous system. They're meant to be overwhelming your life because we are meant to really surrender right now to letting go of everything that is no longer serving you in your life. Now, so these energies, I'll talk about quite a bit of things in this video, as well as a personal share about what I've been going through and something that can really help you out as well. So that'll be a little bit later in the video. Before I get any further along, please subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already, and share this video with as many people as you can to really allow others to know that they're not dying, there's not something wrong with them, they're okay. And you can comment below as well your experience that you're going through right now and all the symptoms you're feeling, to allow others to also know that everything is well. So these energies, this portal we're going through, is a massive acceleration of releasing us from the 3D matrix, literally releasing our body from existing in the old matrix and allowing us to really anchor in deeply into the fifth dimensional matrix, which is our heart vortex, the vertical pillar of light, to allow us to move into our soul mission, our life purpose. So we really need to be aware of what's going on. So I'll start with ascension symptoms you're probably feeling. So these energies are really meant to overwhelm the nervous system and overwhelm you in your life, to really have things right here till they're clear, crystal clear about this is no longer working for me. And these old patterns, these old routines, my old life, I can no longer keep going like this. So it's really meant to be an acceleration and an overwhelming process. And again, your nervous system will be taxed right now. Your brain, we have a lot of neural pathways, old traumas that are anchored in the brain like little knots through your brain, keeping you in that fear mechanism, keeping you rerunning these old traumas, even though it's something that might have happened lifetimes ago or decades ago. You live your life according to this trauma that's in your nervous system, always reminding you, don't be safe, we're not safe, or always reminding you about whatever the trauma is. So whenever we have a trauma, we have, again, a bunch of knots through our brain keeping us in that loop, whether it's a thought, whether it's an emotion, whether it's a feeling of not being safe, of a fight or flight feeling, that constant just anxiety and stress and tension. So you're probably having a lot of emotional purges right now, because whenever we heal something in our nervous system, in our brain, these energies that are being healed are emotions. Emotion, energy and motion. So this is literally what this trauma is. It's trapped emotion that keeps you in that fight or flight of that circumstance that happened many years ago or many lifetimes ago. So when something's cleared, you will be having an emotion come through you. Again, we need to let these come up and out. You're not weird because you're crying out of the blue and you're angry and you just have this rage coming over you. Maybe you have that constant anxiety. So all these emotions are perfect for you. It's your journey. We're all individuals. So our soul has been through so many different things that someone else's soul maybe hasn't. So many different traumas, different accidents, things happening to us, different programming from our childhood, from our parents, teachers, from ourselves. So every individual has a different journey. So you are going through your own personal journey. You don't have to compare yourself to others. But this video is simply to help you know that everything is okay. Okay, so when we have these energies come through us, they're literally coming through our nervous system to be released. But a lot of us will stop ourselves from crying or just avoid with addictions, try to just numb ourselves out. But we need to be feeling these energies as they're coming out, because as soon as you feel it, you can breathe into it, focus on it for a few minutes. It might be that complete phobia feeling, or you might just be crying uncontrollably. You have to allow that to come out of you. So really focus in on that feeling, that emotion, and it will release. If you avoid it, if you run from it, so when you're triggered, if something's triggered in you and you immediately run to the bottle or run and grab that pill to numb yourself out, to calm yourself down, or you immediately try to focus on something else and just forget about it, that trapped emotion is building up in you. And this is where you can develop dis-ease, diseases, illnesses. You might have nervous system outbreaks. You might have mental health issues. So things are always coming up to be seen and loved and neutralized. We don't need to be angry with ourselves if you're always crying or if you're always in that tension. Every part of you is coming up right now to be really amplified, to be healed finally. Because you're anchoring into the higher fifth dimensional grid, you will be experiencing a lot of weird stuff come in. So you might be feeling like you're on an acid trip. Maybe you're drunk, you're feeling very dizzy, very floaty. You might be having these bliss feelings. You might be just laughing uncontrollably out of the blue. Now, all of these, again, are fifth dimensional experiences as we anchor in deeper into the new, into a higher vibrational existence. So again, when that comes up, allow it to move through you, have fun with it. You might be experiencing a lot more psychic knowingness, intuition. You might be channeling. Really go deep in yourself and meditate this week. And you might be having breakthroughs hugely with your ability to connect with source, to your spirit realms, to your higher self. So really try that this week. This portal is an acceleration of a building of your light body. So we are accelerating into our fifth dimensional new life, which means a new light body. And we're shedding our old physical body. So again, we might be experiencing massive cleansing crisis issues, toxicity, which is making you feel fatigued, exhausted. You might be feeling dizzy as things anchor in. And again, remember, we are rewiring our brain. So you might be feeling this wobble, vertigo, things like that. And again, I'll talk about more of that in a second. But things will be becoming overwhelming. So remember, your body is trying to remove itself, to unanchor itself from the 3D matrix, to allow it to anchor in deeply into the fifth dimensional matrix. So these things will be ramping up right now over this portal between February 13th and February 21st. So allow your body to release as much as you can. Do some deep breathing. I have lots of other videos talking about how to move through these energies a lot better, so refer to those as well. I have a video that I talk about the head to toe ascension symptoms that you're probably going through. And that video is called Ascension Symptoms 2021. It was recorded about 2 weeks ago. So if you're not sure if what you're experiencing is an ascension symptom, or I haven't mentioned some of the things that you are going through, then please watch that video. It will really help you. Now, this portal is really meant to allow your body to release the old traumas, again, without you even having to do anything. But again, things will also come up in your physical life. Things will come up to be reviewed, released, and rewired according to your life purpose. Not old patterns based on just these traumas that have been anchored in the brain. These are removing to allow you to be reset. Almost like pushing a reset button. We're allowed to reset our entire soul mission and our entire life's journey to allow us to be existing in our new authentic life. It's really a week of magic, of new, and of really rapid acceleration of releasing. So again, we're going to be seeing a lot of changes, shocking events happen in the external world. Don't focus on that. Every time you focus on the external world, you're anchoring back into that 3D matrix. You're making it harder for your body to finally release these old programs for good, to allow you to be completely detached from the old, living in a fifth-dimensional existence where none of the BS that happens in the external world affects you. So the more that you feed into that, the more you're going to be experiencing those 3D things happening, and all the chaos and the fear and the just complete craziness. This week is about you, self-care, self-healing, allowing yourself to really detach from that old life that literally is no longer serving you. The old patterns, routines, really knowing yourself from the core of where your soul, where your body wants to move towards. Because it is begging you to release the old finally, to stop suffering. We don't need to be suffering right now. We need to be moving into the new. Like a child, with our inner child intact, healed, so we can move into the new and experience the magic and the mystery of the fifth dimensional new energies. So as we go on with these ascension symptoms, if you're experiencing something that is life or death type situations, very traumatic, if you're experiencing the same thing happening for weeks or months at a time, or years, then there's something beyond just an ascension symptom that's happening. And it's not a psychic attack by the dark forces. We don't need to be in fear about that. What it really is your structure, the physical bones of your body, or the alignment of your light body in your physical structure is off. It might be to one side, it might be blocked big time. So this is something well beyond just ascension symptoms. And I'll talk about that in a second, about what to do and how you know that this is an issue for you. Because again, we will be experiencing ascension symptoms. It's normal. You will be experiencing temporarily issues, or issues temporarily. But if something is ongoing and is literally taking away from your ability to live, to experience happiness, to be able to live your life, then it's something well beyond just an ascension symptom of your body purging. So number one, of course, which I've mentioned lots of times, is make sure that you are eating clean and you are detoxing your body. Because if you're really going through overwhelming things and you are someone who kind of eats terribly, you've had a terrible lifestyle of a lot of toxicity, you might be been around a lot of chemicals in your job, things like that, well then that's probably the main issue of why you're experiencing such extreme symptoms. As your body goes into detox mode and purges away the old energies, the old toxins, your body will be overwhelmed with toxicity in your blood, which is going to be making it extremely ill. So if you're having ascension symptoms that are really taking away and almost creating a life or death situation for yourself, or taking away your ability to exist, to live normally for longer than a couple days, there's definitely something wrong in your system, in the alignment of your light body in your physical body. You have a massive maybe issue with your bone structure that's out of place, that's creating these blockages and not allowing energy to move freely through your system, through your nervous system. So as a personal share about what I've been going through, I've been on this journey for many years, so I learned what to expect. But the last few months have really been terrible for me. I put on a front. I try to put these videos out because I know it really helps people. But I've been in so much pain and suffering for many months now, many years really, but really since around December, when these energies started really rolling in and people have been really purging, and the whole entire situation of the entire world right now has been amplifying. I've been at the point where I could not even take a breath without feeling like I have a stabbing knife in my back, in my spine. And so it's been really terrible. I also had many situations where I was on the ground shaking, convulsing, almost like a seizure, it's been life or death for me quite a few months now. And again, I don't ever want to try to scare you, but I'm just letting you know that finally I set my intention a few weeks ago to get help, to finally have someone come into my life to heal me. And again, I over many years, I went to lots of different healers, and the last couple years, I've gotten to the point where I don't need a healer. And this has just been it, and I just assumed, okay, all these energies that are just backed up in me that aren't moving freely. Again, I'm a gatekeeper, which also means I need energies to move freely through my system to release them from the earth plane into the cosmos and from the new energies anchoring into the earth grid. So I need to be a clear channel, a clear conduit of the light. And so I just attributed my existence for the last few months of just really being in pain to just, okay, it's just a backlog of these energies from the collective that's purging it, that I can't get out fast enough. What I didn't realize up until I had a healing session yesterday, that my entire light body from a car accident over a decade ago was completely shoved on the right side of my body, completely jammed into the right side of my body. And it also got worse when I had a fire alarm blaring in my ear that I couldn't dismantle, that was hardwired, blaring in my ear for about a whole hour there about 5 years ago. Whenever you have a blunt trauma like an accident or a loud explosion or something where you are hit with a blunt force on a part of your body, your soul, your light body will literally move out of the way, move itself over to almost try to protect itself from this trauma, this force. So what I didn't realize is this car accident that happened over a decade ago where I got hit on the left side, as well as this fire alarm where it was blaring in my ear right here this close for over an hour on the left side. My entire light body had shifted over to the right side of my body. And so it doesn't matter, so even though I spent 5, 6, 7 hours a day of doing light work on myself, energy healing, dissolving density, breathing out all this energy that seemed to pool up in my back, I literally had, my spine was literally bulged out behind my heart and pooling energy in there to the point where when I took a breath, it was a stabbing knife pain. So I'm not saying any of this for sympathy from you. I'm saying this to allow you to know that if you have ever had a blunt force trauma or an accident or something very shocking or very traumatizing to the body, especially on one side of the body, your light body, your soul, is going to be crunched over and not aligned. So when you have these massive energies come in that have to run through your circuit system, through your nervous system, if your bones are all out of place, your nervous system's also out of place. So things start pooling up. So I had energy pooling up, literally bulging out my spine to the point where I couldn't even exist. My life was terrible for the past couple months. And again, I just attributed this to, okay, well, the entire collective's purging, it's just energy adding up in my system. I can't get it out fast enough. So I would just think, okay, that's the reason. So if you're someone that has had an issue that seems to be ongoing, that's taking away your ability to live, maybe you have energy pooling up in your body where you physically feel like you are in that fight or flight feeling, you're not safe all day long, where you just can't be happy. Or if you have vertigo, for example, that's a biggie. A lot of time what happens is if we have a trauma, our energy will be off in our brains, or again, maybe you'll have so much trauma on one side of your brain that your energy literally reroutes itself. So it's almost like having a river and throwing a dam in it, or throwing a whole bunch of debris like trees in it. Now the energy or the water reroutes itself. So for me, I finally got a healer to align my energies, my chakras, my meridians, my bone structures. And she was able to finally align me because my energy was so off because of this trauma. It was literally to one side. So my nervous system, the way energy moved through me, and I have massive, powerful energy moving through me being a gatekeeper, it found a new route, and it would constantly move through my heart and zap me and feel like I'm having a heart attack. It would constantly pull up in my back where I couldn't take a breath. I had a stabbing pain. It wouldn't ground. I couldn't release it. I had to literally spend 5, 6, 7 hours a day breathing out these energies and doing light working on myself to allow energy to move enough to be able to actually take a breath without being in complete pain. So this has been going on again for many months for me, but again, as you see, for a decade. So I went a whole decade with my energy completely crunched to one side. Again, it was my feminine side that was completely crunched. So pretty hard to act with my feminine, nurturing, loving, creative side when I was completely, all my light body was aligned into my masculine side. So this is how you can really get a life or death situation when you think it's just, okay, it's just the collective purging. But really, if you're someone that's experiencing something really life or death, really taking away from your ability to live, to have a happy life for more than a couple days at a time, I really beg you to get an alignment of your energy. So again, don't just go to anyone. You really need to do your research on who can align your chakras, align all your meridians, open up all your channels, to literally realign your light body and your bones to allow your channels open, and you will get immediate relief within that one session right away. Again, things will work out over time as they integrate. But if you're someone, again, that's suffering, we don't need to suffer. So do your research, find someone good. There's a lot of people out there that take a weekend course and call themselves a Reiki master and things like that. I don't recommend people like that. I recommend someone who has many years of experience, and maybe they have other modalities such as Chinese medicine, acupuncture knowledge, things like that, so they know where your nervous system should be running. So we don't need to be suffering. We're not here to suffer. We're here to literally heal, rejuvenate our body, and exist in a 5D world where we can create and live authentically and live our soul mission. And if you're someone that can't find a proper healer, then message me and I will give you Tanya's information, because she was really a lifesaver for me when I thought, okay, this is just going to be an ongoing thing for me, because of course the whole collective's purging, the whole world is going through this major transformation. I just thought I had to suffer through this for many more months. But we don't have to suffer. We can actually be able to release the old. And again, when we get a healing session, you literally, it's a quantum healing. You have released the old. You are in a higher timeline, a higher dimension. So that's how fast you can get a shift, and you can start allowing the old, your old life, to start falling away very easy without it being work. We don't need to be in work mode. We need to be in flow mode. So thanks so much. You can message me and I can give you out her contact info. She was amazing if you need that. And yeah, we need to be really gentle with ourselves right now. And please comment below what you're going through, because everything that someone can find out that, oh, I'm okay, this other person experiencing something, this other person is going through the same thing. It really allows us to remove that fear and allow us to really feel that it's okay. And I have another video that I recorded a couple weeks ago called Ascension Symptoms 2021, which I talk about from head to toe all the symptoms that you might be experiencing. So if you're going through a lot, please also watch that video. It will really help you out. And again, if you're on the path, I have so many different videos to help you, so please watch them and subscribe and hit the bell. And don't forget to share this video with others. Thank you so much. I'm Roxanne. This is EARTH1111. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.